And welcome back to Friday Night Fights, the 33rd best show in all of Rebbl, and this is Season 12, Division 2B. This is Week 2 that we're covering, and with me, as always, is Charles.
Hi, Wolf. Hi, people.
Hello, Charles. People say hello,
Very
I'm sure.
exciting. Yeah, everybody has to stand on front of the TV and say hi.
Do you think people watch this on the TV, Charles? What goes
Yes.
on? No, what goes on? I don't understand Brazil. Maybe in Brazil that's what happens, but here we have computers and phones,
Cell
and laptops,
phones.
and stuff like that. You'll get one
But-
day. I think you guys are still like in the 1960s down there.
This is big screen entertainment, so you gotta use the big screen.
Oh, brother. Nobody's using the big screen for this nonsense. All right, let's take a quick commercial break. We'll come back and we'll start with our scorecards where we look over last week's results. And welcome back to Friday Night Fights. This is our scorecard segment where we take a look at last week's results. Now, last week for our main event, Charles had picked the Bogue Bombers versus Ace Trucking Company as the main event. So let's go ahead and get to taking a look at this. Looks like Bogue Bombers 2-1 win over Ace Trucking Company. I think that's a little bit of an upset.
I think it was a close one, but I guess it was an upset.
I think it's just because Ace Trucking Company has, I mean, it's a team with claws, it's more developed, it's been in the league for a lot longer, going up against
sure.
a second season dwarf team. Looks like Ace Trucking Company had 56% ball possession. That is a lot. 25% in the opponent's half, so they popped the ball. 31% in their own half. Blocks were fairly even. KOs favoring Ace and injuries favoring Ace. Let's take a look here. Any deaths? No deaths. Nice day of skill points for the Bogue Bombers. Not a bad day for Ace Trucking Company either. And let's take a look. Bogue Bombers. Armor holding up 56%. Dodging a few times. Going for it. I don't see anything that stands out here as too bad. Dice look fairly decent. Block dice fairly decent. A little high on the skulls, but nothing insane. Ace Trucking Company getting some high results there on the skulls as well. And let's take a look at their D6 dice here. Threw a fireball. Somebody threw a fireball. I assume the dwarves had that fireball. Doing a lot of dodging. Six successful dodges. That's amazing. Armor holding up 80% of the time, which I have to assume that's because of claw. Other than that, just looks like a good tight game. Did you happen to get to see this game?
Yeah, I felt like the human team, they got an important KO early, and they get an eagle on the Charf Killer on turn 2. So the Charfs play most of the game without their main killer, and that's the reason I felt why the human team was able to keep going and make the blocking close. The humans do have a great fireball. They can't get a sack out of it though, but the Charps are stuck either way, and the ball is eventually sacked with the humans pushing the ball carrier over and over until somebody gets a sack, and the humans make a 4+ catch and they dodge for a touchdown. So not a very consistent offense, but not offense, but after sacking it, but they get the score. And then the Charps keep trying to tie the opponents up, even though they had a numbers advantage at that point. But the humans, they take advantage of 2 dub skulls from the Charps, and the humans go 2-0, and that's basically the game right there. I felt like it was a close game, and whoever lost would be in trouble, and who won is still very much in the race. Of course, it's early, but a great win for the Bogue Bombers.
Yeah, I said Bogue Bombers were a dwarf team. I forgot they're human. I don't know why I keep thinking they're a dwarf team. Human teams have speed advantage here, I assume, and then they can also do the passing if they have to. That's one of the advantages they have.
If the Charps lose the killer early, then
Yeah.
the Charps don't even have the advantage on taking players off the pitch.
Yeah. All right. Well, good job. Bogue Bombers continues to move. Interesting. Now, what game do you want to take a look at next, Charles? Should we just start at the top?
Yes.
We Chillins 1-0 upset over Bring Out Your Undead. Now I got to see this game.
Yeah.
You can tell us a little about it too, though. Let's take a look here. 56% ball possession for We Chillin. 41 blocks. They outbashed the Undead. Amazing. 3 injuries inflicted. Yeah, they just took the beat down to the Undead team and just didn't let them up.
The Camry team. Their name is Undead, but they're Camry.
I hate everybody in this division. There
Yeah,
you
it's
go.
confusing. It's very confusing.
Oh yeah, that was Rand the Mad, isn't it? All right, he was supposed to win, and he let everybody down. Yeah. Let's take a look here. Dodging, not the greatest. Could have been better. Armor holding up a little over half the time. Injuries, not too bad. Took 4 injuries there. Looks like your GFIs were on. Your catches, your leaps, 50%. Your lightning bolt was successful. Bring out your undead. Their armor only held 50% of the time. Well, what do you attribute that to?
Probably the serfs.
Okay.
Because I guess the surf counts as an armor break.
Yeah. Injuries though, that one killed him too. I mean, seven times you injured him out of 15 tries. So, ouch. That is a lot of pain. Casual. Yeah, you were just giving him the beat down and just kept beating him. And when the Khemri can't give the beatings, they tend to fade away. Tell us a little about this game.
I felt like my offense was much better than on the first week, so that was my main goal, is to play good offense, and whatever happens elsewhere happens. And so I felt pretty great about the first half, and then second half I just showed up and tried to defend, and thankfully I was successful in surfing the ball carrier, and that was the game. I felt I overcommitted to the side to take away the killer on my defensive drive, and Randomat did well to exploit that and give himself a chance to get the tie, but in the end just the Witch Elf was able to do the magic.
I remember watching it, and I remember there was like either an uphill or a red dice that you threw, and I thought, oh, that's a bad idea, but it worked out for you.
Oh yeah, my Witch Elves are built to be able to red eye people.
Okay.
I feel like it's fine,
Hey,
because
it worked. Yeah.
it would have worked on 5 out of 6 results. I just had to dodge the skull. Everything else would be the ball on the ground there.
All right. Congratulations, Charles, for sneaking out a win there that you were supposed to lose. And
getting that one win just makes it so the season is not going to be a total disaster.
Yeah.
And then now I'm free to just lose out.
Yeah. Let's take a look at the other elf team. 0-2 loss to Ars Gosha. 56% ball possession for the Chaos team. 37 blocks, 3 KOs, 4 injuries. Ouch. Just those are casualties, so no deaths. Slow day, skill point wise, 8 skill points for the elves, plenty for the Ars Gosha. They just keep continuing to roll up the skill points here.
Oh, I like that the elves move busted a killer from the Chaos team. At least they got something done for the rest of the division.
Yeah, that's as long as every team that plays this killer team can take out one piece, by the end of the season he'll be done. So I guess as a group you can kind of do that.
If that happens by the end of the season, they will be back to average, because they won't be done. They have so many good players. A lot needs to happen for them to be done. It's not going to happen.
Oh, it's going to happen, Charles. This division is committed to wiping out our clan traitor. I paid off everybody in the division. Just kill his best piece on the board. Don't worry about winning. Did you happen to get to see this game?
Yes, I don't have my notes quite in order right now, but I felt like the elves had trouble on their offense trying to deal with all that strength, guard, and tentacles, and getting based and trying to get away. They had a play to get away with a 3+ pass into a catch, of course, which I felt like could have been a handoff. I'm not sure exactly what is the advantage of having it be a pass, but they fail that, and then they get into trouble. The Chaos recover. The Elves actually had some okay chances to get a sack, but they always failed the dodge. And so that's one new Chaos on first half.
Yeah, his
then,
dodges are terrible here.
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest dodging game for the Elves, and that's always going to be trouble against Chaos, right?
Yeah.
And I actually love the build this Elf team has because of the big bench. They took everything this killer team had to give, and I don't feel like the armor breaks were unfair. And they show up with 11 players on the field because they have such a big bench that they are able to actually play BloodBowl for the second half after getting bashed by Chaos.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's the tip or the strategy. Have a deep bench.
And they actually get to sack the ball because of the low amount of tackle this Chaos team has, which Elf just keeps sidestepping through their whole cage over and over, like, I don't know, 5 hits before she goes down.
Yeah.
And then after that, they're able to sack the ball, but Chaos Warrior catches it, and the Chaos team actually gives the Elves another chance at the game because they move a little bit too fast, in my opinion. Maybe they needed to, but they are sacked, and then it gets crazy again, but eventually the Chaos just gets the ball and scores again.
All right. Good game.
It's tough to play against Yazer. It's always going to be a hard one.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing, and he's got a killer team. So
yeah,
it's gonna take a concentrated effort to get him out of there.
It's good coaching and an amazing, crazy team. Very dangerous to play as. You gotta take more risks to win. Than they do, and you are probably gonna lose more trying to win than they will.
Yeah. All right. Let's take a look at Murdery Space Elf Troops 2-1 win over the Grody Greens. Now that's a bit of an upset. I had Grody Greens projected to win that one.
I think Murdery Elf Space Troop is the best looking Dark Elf team right now, and I think it was only an upset because of the opposing race, because they are one of the best teams in the division. They showed that this week.
Yeah. I got hit with a fireball, it looks like. Armor held up 68% of the time. His dodges were 50%. A lot of dodging for the Grody Greens. I'm not sure. They must have just been out of position a lot. Regeneration not working. The one time it was tried. Pickups failed. So pickups, they only had 50% pickups. Did you happen to get to see this game?
Oh yeah. The Elves start the game suffering a bad pitch invasion. Like about 6 of their players are stunned. I don't know, maybe 5, but it was pretty bad. Everyone was on the ground after turn 1. And even so, they are able to farm a very good screen on the next turns. They are able to stall the Nurgle team. And as soon as they breach the backline, forcing the Nurgle to go into a full cage, they fireball. It's a good fireball. They actually get to recover the ball, but they 1 in 36 the dodge away. But the Nurgle have some tough time clearing the ball, and they fail to pick up, and then the Elves just get away and they score. So another game where the fireball was pretty great, and I would say in that situation much more upside than a lightning bolt, because the ball sometimes is catched by those cage corners, and then you might not be able to do anything, or the scatter might be terrible. So they were able to get like 2 or 3 players down, and that was enough for them to make it difficult for Nurgle.
Yeah.
And then on their offense, I felt like the Elves made a very simple move, but it was just the move they needed. They pick up the ball, they keep the ball safe back, and they start making their move towards one sideline, and that gets the Nurgle's attention, and they put their killer over there, and they put a beast of Nurgle over there, and so the elves simply go into the other sideline with the ball.
A reverse
So
field. All right.
they don't even reverse the field because they started fighting for the sideline without the ball. So the ball was always safe back there,
Oh, okay.
and they just showed up players and put a screen on that sideline. The Nurgle responds by getting a hold of that sideline, and then they say, "Okay, you want that? I'm gonna go to the other side," and that's the 2-0. And
So we just overcommitted to that side, you think? Too early?
overcommit is questionable. I'm not making a judgment on it because if they don't commit at all to that side, then the elves just take that side anyway. So it was like a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. It was just very simple and yet solid by the Dark Elf team. They force the opponent to commit to one side and then they go to the other one, and that's it. Maybe not putting the killer and the beast to the same side could have been better, but it's easy for me to say that now that the game is over, right?
Yeah. All right. Can't feel bad for Nurgle. But nobody likes to see elves win either, so that was kind of a loss for everybody. Gourmet Governors, 0-2 loss to Yeti to Conquer.
Yeah, Yeti to Conquer keeps looking strong.
Yeah, no, this is the Norse team, and they're projected pretty high in this division if they keep going the way they've been going. 62% ball possession here, just got the ball, held it. Blocks were pretty even. KOs pretty even. Oh no, they weren't. 6 KOs. The Gourmet Governor took 6 KOs. Of course, some of those could have been their vampires taking out some of their own players. 2 casualties sustained for the Vamps and 1 for the Norse team.
Yeah, this is one I was not able to watch,
Yeah,
but I always felt like the Vamps would be in trouble because of the damage Norse can do normally. And I actually took a look at the Gourmet Governor's roster, and either they cut a vampire or a vampire died, and I would say either way they might be better off with just 4 vampires.
Yeah. Let's take a look here. Pickups were good, armor decent. Well, no, it wasn't. That was a kind of crappy armor for Yeti to Conquer. Let's take a look at the Gourmet Governors. Armor just as bad. Nobody had any real good armor here. Bloodlust. Oh, his Bloodlust was part of his problem. He failed 8 times, so 75%. So that's kind of like you're only 1 in 6 is your chance each turn. So I don't know what your normal should be, like 83% or something.
83, yeah, it's a little bit worse
low
than average. But when you are already bleeding players,
yeah, and the Hypnotic Gaze was only succeeded 1 time out of 5. That was terrible.
Okay,
So that had 20% success
bad.
rate. Yeah, that was kind of bad. So just couldn't get things going, it sounds like, and Norse just doing what they do, beating you up. Let's take a look. Mighty Blows 2-0 win over 1 Cheese. Mighty Blows 81% ball possession, not screwing around. 44 blocks, almost double the amount of blocks, doubled KOs, 4 injuries inflicted. They took 3 injuries back, so they were given a bit of their own injury here. Nice day of pickup for both teams on skill points, just a little over 10. And dice, let's see if we see anything weird in the dice. Did you happen to get to see this game?
I haven't.
Okay. Lightning Bolt failed for the Moes, it looks like. I don't see anything unusual here. 1
And
cheese.
they still get the 2-0. Huh?
1 cheese only. Their armor holding up 46% of the time. Dodges, nothing. Tentacles. I don't see anything that really stands out. Now, without seeing this game, other than the casualties, I mean, they're taking a lot of casualties here, which I assume that's just the difference in the game. When you start removing players, it's a little easier to win.
It's to be expected, I guess, when you're rats.
Yeah, you're playing Nurgle. It's not gonna be easy. Let's take a look. Boss Hog Outlaws 2-0 win. Looks like Volspa turns it around and comes back strong. The 2-0 win over the Dwarves.
And without their claw players, so it wasn't just bashing the dwarves.
Well, he's gonna have to do some bashing, I assume, but you're not gonna get a lot of casualties. Oh, actually, Steppe Force took 3 casualties, and the Outlaws took 2 casualties, so it was actually pretty decent amount there. But I mean, Boss Hog Outlaws just threw about almost more than double, yeah, a little over double the amount of blocks. Average day of pickup skill points for Stump Force. Boss Hog Outlaws actually a little over 10 points. So let's take a look here. Anything interesting? Did you see this game?
A little bit on Vulpes Inculta's stream.
Okay.
I felt like he was in control of the middle of the pitch as he does usually.
Yeah.
And once the dwarfs were kept being pushed to the sidelines, then they had just a line of one player deep, not a screen, right? Because the screen has two players, and then you can just blitz and go forward whenever you want. So at that point where they opened up the dwarfs, they would always score, but I don't know how they made it 2-0.
Yeah, that's a interesting game. Congratulations, Boss Hog Outlaws, Stump Force. Don't worry, come back next week. I think that's everybody we've taken a look at here for our scorecards. What we'll do is we'll take a quick commercial break. We'll come back with our pound for pound segment where we take a look at our leaderboard. And welcome back to Friday Night Fights. These are the pound for pound rankings. We're going to take a look at who's on top, who's on bottom, who's moving up, who's moving down. The Mighty Blows, Ken, up at top, first place with 2 wins, 4 points. Ziazeta coming in at second, also 2 wins. Look at that. Iron Master also 2 wins, and Motley 2 wins. So everybody right there in the mix right now. Now it's just based off touchdown differential.
Yeah, and you know what happens this week?
A lot of these guys play each other.
Yes, exactly. Those 4 teams make 2 of the matchups of this week.
No, so we'll get a little separation from the top 2 from the middle of the pack here.
Yeah.
Charles, look at you, 5th place. You're making moves.
It's not gonna last.
No,
sure
it can't last. It'd be shameful if they allow that to last.
Yes.
I think the surprising one here is Kicks 96 on the bottom. I gotta say, at the beginning of the season, I thought he'd be way at the top, but just not getting it done. And Rex Longbone also not getting it done with his 1 cheese. It's gonna be a long season if you guys don't start making your moves now. But you go down 3-0, 4-0, it starts to get really ugly really quick.
Yeah, since this division has more playoff spots than usual, I guess they still have time, but that time is running out. Something needs to happen now.
Well, that, and plus, I mean, like I said, Kicks is down 3 touchdowns with a Chaos Dwarf team. Chaos Dwarves don't really light the scoreboards up usually, so even if you do start winning now, you're gonna have that touchdown differential to contend with.
I mean, I was beat 3-0 by Charles last season, so.
Well, the exception does prove the rule. Thank you, Charles, for shitting on my point.
Okay.
All right, let's take a quick commercial break. We'll come back with our contender series. And stay tuned after this segment for our play of the week. And welcome back to Friday Night Fights. We have with us a guest on the show who's never been on Friday Night Fights. Please welcome Motley. Motley, how are you?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Well, I'm doing fantastic. Charles is just barely above average.
Yeah, exactly. That's my team.
And in general. Quite the win Charles was saying that you had last week.
Thanks. It was a little fortunate. Had a really sick fireball that helped on my defensive drive and kind of rode that to victory.
Now, how are you feeling about your standing in the division? You're in 4th place. You gonna keep moving up, and are you just happy where you're at? I mean, have you ever been at? What's the highest you've finished in a division so far?
Well, actually, a few seasons back when I was playing Dwarfs, I tied with Horny Cricket at the top of REL 1. That was a few seasons ago now.
Shut the front door. Are you serious?
Yeah, that was, I believe, the maybe the first time that Horny Cricket won Rebbl.
Yeah, nice. So you've been up there in the mix.
I have,
All
and
right.
then I decided to go with something a little different when I dropped the Dwarfs like a bad habit.
Yeah, that was probably a bad idea, but here you are. You're in 4th place, and you're doing well.
Yeah.
Nobody likes Dark Elves, Charles. Just stop it.
This guy does.
No, he doesn't
This
like.
is-
Well,
He just wants to win. All right.
I figured Dark Elves were the dwarfiest of the elves, and that's kind of why I picked them. Didn't want too much, movement or whatever.
Yeah, so they're
Yeah,
like easy
Too
elves.
much movement confuses people. Exactly.
They have armor. They're a little easier. All right.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's all right. Let's get into it. We brought you on the show. We're gonna have you help make some picks for us.
Sounds good.
What we're gonna do is let's take a look here. This is our main event, Charles, and you have Murdery Space Elf Troop versus Ars Gosha.
Oh yeah.
All right, you wanna take a look at that game first, then.
We have 2 games with perfect records teams facing each other, so I had to pick one, and the main event is the one that has Dark Elves on it.
Okay.
The co-main event is the one that doesn't.
All right, let's take a look here. Murdery Space Elf Troop with 1690. Ars Gosha rocking it with 2090 in TV. That's a huge 400-point difference there. This Elf Troop comes in completely healthy. I don't know if they have a full 11 players on their team, though. Ars Gosha comes in losing a Beastman. Oh, it looks like one of their killer Beastmen is injured. Other than that, completely healthy, and he gets back his other
One
killer.
of the many.
Yeah, I guess when you have 3 killers on your team, you can afford to lose one each week. All right. For this matchup, Charles, why don't you pick first, and we'll let our guest go last.
Oh, I went back and forth on this one. I can see how the low amount of tackle on the Chaos teams gives a bigger chance to the Dark Elf, but I guess since it's 50-50 on my mind, I'm picking the nastier, fatter team,
All right.
the Chaos.
Going with Chaos Team. I am going to go with the Murdery Space Elf Troop. I think we've seen that the Chaos teams don't perform well when given this much TV difference. So I think 400 points, I mean, that's a wizard and some other shenanigans you'll be able to pull off. And that is my pick. Now, our guest, do you have a pick?
I'm probably gonna go draw on this one. Just because I think I might be able to have a good defensive stand against Ars Gosha, but I think he might just be able to grind me out as the game goes on.
Yeah, you pretty much know what he's going to do. It's just whether or not you can withstand that onslaught.
Exactly. I managed to withstand an onslaught last week, and maybe not this week.
All right. Let's take a look at our next matchup. Boss Hog Outlaws versus One Cheese. Both these coaches I know stream their game, so hopefully we'll get to see this one. Boss Hog Outlaw 2030 versus One Cheese at 1470. Let's take a look at Boss Hog's team. Comes in completely healthy, and One Cheese coming in missing a blitzer and a gutter runner. Ooh, and a lineman. Oof, it's getting ugly. Who do you like in this one, Motley?
I think I gotta go with what TV is telling me, and I think Boss Hog's gonna take this one.
All right, I agree with you. I don't see One Cheese getting over that no matter what. I mean, they're going to have a lot of inducement money here. I just don't see them getting over all of that tackle and kill power. Who do you like, Charles?
Yeah, the Dwarves have many more skills on the team all around. The Reds are gonna be missing some key pieces, so I'm picking them to shred the Red front line and win.
Yeah, it would be nice though if the rats get a kill on one of the expensive players on the Boss Hog Outlaws. They do have their own killer with claws, so that's nice to see. That's when I can strike back, so you can't just play all willy-nilly. Let's take a look at our next matchup. Mighty Blows or Blighty Moes versus Yeti to Conquer. Let's see, 2070 Nurgle versus 1840 Norse. Now this is a match we really want to see. The Moes come in completely healthy, and Yeti to Conquer comes in completely healthy. Who do you like in this one, Charles?
Oh, another very close one. Two teams at the top. Based on the preseason rankings, I'm gonna stick to the stuff I worked on, and the lack of a killer goat actually makes me lean Norse for this one.
All right.
I guess this Nurgle team just lost a killer.
And Moes, who do you like? Or Moes, Motley. I'm drunk. It's late.
I think I gotta pick. I think I gotta go Norse as well on this one. I think Ironmaster's a pretty good coach, and I'm gonna go with him.
Interesting. Well, then I'm gonna have to go against you guys. Let me take a quick look. I'm gonna cheat real quick here and look at Charles's cheat sheet. What does your matchup say on this game, Charles?
Oh, let me pick it up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, then I'm gonna
think...
go with Nurgle just to spite you guys. Fair enough. Yeah, but Yeti to Conquer, that's a pretty good team. Coached really well.
Oh, it says Yeti to Conquer is way up there,
Yeah.
and it's a big favorite.
All right, Blighty Moes, don't let me down. Embrace the bloat, as they say. Gourmet Governors versus the Grody Greens. Let's take a look at the Gourmet Governors. 1670 Vampire team against the 1850 Grody Greens. Nurgle. And everybody's healthy on the Vampire team, and everybody comes in healthy as well on the Grody Greens. Who you like in this one? Charles?
I gotta pick the Nurgle. They are the team that wins by default, let's say, while the Vamps need the favorable dice to do something. So I'm just gonna pick the more consistent team.
I am going to go with the Gourmet Governors here. I know that Luminous is a good coach, and I think eventually he comes back around and things start to click. He can't go through this drought of 3 losses in a row. What say you, Motley?
I think you might be right, Wolfram. I think Gourmet Governors might get just enough favorable dice to pull out the win on this one.
I like it when people agree with me. That's very rarely happens on this show. We've gone over the Murdery Space Elf troop. Let's take a look at the Romanian Rebels versus Ace Trucking Company. Ace Trucking Company down in the dumps recently. Ace Trucking Company at 1770 is a Chaos Dwarf team. The Romanian Rebels 1870, the plucky little upstart elves of this division. They come in missing a blitzer. Other than that, they're good. And it looks like the Chaos Dwarves come in missing just one blocker, who is a bit of a kill blocker. So they still have a few other kill pieces on the team, so they're still probably fine. In this game, I am going to take, for the upset, the Romanian Rebels. Who do you like, Charles?
Oh, I agree.
Oh.
I'm going with the Elf Brotherhood for this one. I really like to see the big bench they have. I would love to have a big bench like that, and I think they can make it hard for the Charps to move.
All right.
Because they have the bodies to stay on the game.
Motley, what do you think?
I think I gotta pick the Chorfs, if for nothing else than the fact that I face the Elves soon. Not next week, but I think the following one. And I want to see all of those Elves dead for my matchup.
A lot of broken, busted elves to beat up on. I hear you. That's just
yes,
smart
please.
strategy. Yeah, that's nice. Let's take a look. Last matchup we have here is Bogue Bombers versus Bring Out Your Undead. Both the two teams that I get most confused about in the division. Bogue Bombers, I keep thinking they're a dwarf team, but they're human at 1560. And Bring Out Your Undead, which is not an undead team, it's a Khemri team at 1580. Let's take a look here at their teams and see who's healthy, who's not. Well, they're missing a lineman on the humans, which shouldn't be that big of a deal. and a throw raw with block dodge. So their blodge throw raw is out. That could be interesting. Who do you like in this one, Charles?
We saw this matchup last season. It was a very close game, but at the end, the humans were able to 5+ pickup, 4+ dodge, 4+ dodge, 3+ dodge, 2 GFI. So I felt like the Camry did everything right. They gave themselves the best chance they could to win, and Nuffle decided to take it away from them. So I wanna pick them
All right.
because they deserve to get something out of after the last game.
This is Blood Bowl. Nobody deserves anything other than to die. Motley, who do you like in this one? I don't know if you've got to see much of either coach this season.
Well, I killed the Bogue Bombers ogre, so I have already played him. Yeah.
That's okay. That ogre dies like every 3 weeks. It's fine.
So I've heard. I think I like the humans here. I think they, might just have enough crazy hijinks to be able to pull out the win.
So I will disagree, and I will go with Bring Out Your Undead. Rand snaps back, and I think the difference now is that Rand has plenty of pieces with Mighty Blow on his team. He's got 1 or 2 pieces with Tackle, and he's got some Wrestle. I think he's got some Dirty Players, so I think he's going to get removals that he didn't get the first time they played.
He doesn't have much tackle, does he?
I think he's only got 1 or 2. Let me see. 2 pieces with Tackle. But
Right.
it's on a Blitz route. That's where you want it. Yeah, so I don't know. I just think he's going to get removals that he needs, and he's going to get the matchups that he wants. Is my projection. All right. And I am rarely, if ever, wrong. That is everybody in the division. Now, why don't you, Molly?
No!
What?
You're forgetting about me.
What am I forgetting about you?
Stump Force versus We Chilling.
Okay, let's take a look. Fine, Charles. I guess we'll take a look at you two. This is a game
I
nobody
also
wants
play
to
on
know.
this division, man.
Oh yeah, I forget you play in this division. Okay, so Stump Force comes in at 1660, and they have a runner out and a blocker out. Charles, We Chillin' team comes in missing a Witch Elf, coming in at 1630. So a nice close match there. In this game, I am going to give the advantage to We Chillin'. I hate to ever pick you, Charles, but I'm gonna do it because you see. Well, let me hang on. I gotta take a look at this team now. This dwarf team, they got some power on this team. You know what? I'm gonna pick the dwarfs because I can't go against the grain and pick you because that's just bad for me. That's bad for business. All right.
It's not a bad pick.
Yeah. Who do you like, Motley?
I gotta go with We Chillin'. Looks like the dwarfs are missing their good runner.
Yep.
Which should allow. I think there will be a couple of sacks on this fresh runner, and I think We Chillin' has the advantage there.
Does We Chillin' have any strip ball or anything? No, they just got the leap. I mean,
just
they're kind of
tackle.
they've got leap, and the leap witch is out. They're kind of a one-trick pony anyway. So that's an interesting position to take, Molly. Charles, who do you like in this one?
I think a draw is likely, but I have to pick myself just because of they are hurt right now, and they don't have that much punching power if everything goes well. The recapper in me wants to pick with Chilling, but when I play this, I don't feel very comfortable.
Yeah. All right. So who was that you were picking? You're picking yourself?
Yeah, I
All
guess.
right. I guess. All right. So I think that was it then, wasn't it, Charles? That was the.
Oh, yeah.
We covered every. All right. What I was gonna say is, Motley, how long have you been playing Blood Bowl?
I've been playing since just a little after Blood Bowl 2 came out. And I've been in REL since I think season 5.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
A little bit before me and you came in, Wolf.
Yeah. So it's You've got. I think we joined in season 8. So
7.
Okay.
yeah. So. Oh, it was 7, Charles.
Yeah.
Okay. 7. Okay. Well. Okay. Just curious. All right. Any other words that you want to speak to our guest about, Charles?
How do you feel about your playoff chances? I know you have been looking like the best Dark Elf team at the moment, and you've already done it before, so I'm guessing you must be one of the favorites.
I feel cautiously optimistic, I would say, about making it to the playoffs. Of course, my big issue has been making it past the first round of the playoffs. So if I had to make a prediction, I would say I make it to the playoffs and then get knocked out by freak chance in the very first round.
I think ZZ also made it to the playoffs and got knocked out pretty quickly, didn't he? So that could be interesting.
Yeah, 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, I mean, there's 3 spots at the top. That'll be an interesting race to see who gets there. And then Ken's the unknown that we don't really know much about. So
Yeah, the one who came from G-Man, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
They were their whole life on a whole different universe. We don't know how they match up against the people over here, and
Yeah.
we're gonna find out this season.
yeah, it'll be interesting. All right, cool. Well, good luck the rest of the season, Motley. Thank you for stopping on and shooting the breeze with us and giving us your takes. Oh, any rivalries you have with any of the coaches in this division?
You know, I don't have a huge history with any of the coaches. I know I've been in divisions with Quicks and Luminous and Ironmaster before,
Okay.
but I don't have any real long and storied matchups against any of them.
Okay.
Oh, can you, before going, talk to us about that Bomb Witch Elf, which seems like a beautiful piece?
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. After last game, she rolled the second doubles and is looking really good, which is pretty nice. I think this season I've started to finally roll doubles on my pieces. My first 2 seasons with these Dark Elves, I could only roll normals, and finally the doubles have come around.
So
And
you're,
you got like 3 guard pieces as well. That's a great team.
he's got
Yeah,
4 guard
yeah.
pieces. That's insane.
We'll see how long. We'll see how long Bobby the Lino with guard sticks around. I'm not sure he's long for this world.
Now, this witch elf, has she been on the ground yet after a pylon? Like, is she not just getting stepped on every turn? Because that's my dream, is when a witch elf hits the ground. That's like my entire team goes to find her and punch her in the head.
You know, she just rolled piling on, so that's
Well,
we will see.
we'll see how that experiment goes. That'll be interesting. My God, those are the days you dream about. Like, oh my God, witch elf on the ground. Oh, all right, cool. Well, good luck the rest of the season. It's gonna be interesting to see how that works out and see how you do in the rest of the way. Hopefully, you make it to playoffs and we can chat again.
All right.
All right, we'll come right
Thanks
back.
for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. Hey, we'll be right back after this commercial break. And welcome back to the final segment of Friday Night Fights. This is where we sit around and talk about the news, anything going on in Rebbl, anything coming up. Charles, I think Clan is starting their first week this week. So if
Oh,
you're-
I'm so hyped about it.
yeah, if you're involved in
Yeah.
Clan, you should be getting your matchups now. I think I got my matchup coming up in 4 days from now. So
Oh, good to know. I was actually the one drafting this week, getting the feeling of being the clan leader, and it's so stressful.
yeah. Yeah, it's never
You
easy.
you have the chance of letting everyone down on the clan, so it's something that Sam needs to do. He's the right guy to do it.
Probably, yeah. Any other news around Rebbl? I don't know. I haven't heard anything interesting going on other than just regular divisions starting
Yeah.
up and going.
Me either.
All right. Well, that was an easy one. All right. What we'll do is actually that's the end of the show. So we'll come back next week. We'll bring you on all new information. Hopefully, we had a second guest planned for the show, but Charles double booked, so we'll get them on next week.
Oh, don't tell them that.
Well,
I'm
they have to know
sorry.
when you make these mistakes, Charles. The ratings go way down. So people want to
I
know
actually
why.
deserve it. I'm so sorry to Rofer, and I'm
Oh, well.
sorry.
It's okay. All right. See you guys next week.